Back to Infobytes. What's up, party people? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something we all look forward to. Birthdays. You know, the grill cake, candles, maybe an awkward round of singing. But seriously, have you ever stopped to wonder, why do we even do this? I mean, what were people doing before we started throwing epic parties and blowing out candles? Stick around, because we're going on an epic, mind-blowing, historical journey to find out. Let's start way back. In ancient times, people didn't have a Google Calendar reminding them of their anniversary, tracking the exact day you were born. Honestly, it wasn't a priority. Survival was. They were much more focused on the big stuff, the changing seasons, the cycles of the moon, the solstices. These were the OG parties, personal birthdays. Maybe next century? But here's where things get juicy. One of the earliest recorded birthday celebrations comes from ancient Egypt. And there's a massive plot twist. It wasn't their birthday. It was for the pharaohs. When a pharaoh took the throne, they were essentially born as a god. So they'd throw a massive feast and ceremony to celebrate their divine birth. Talk about a glow up. So the idea of celebrating someone's birthday started with the elite ... and a lot of power. Now let's talk about the Babylonians. These guys were the original astronomers and, let's be real, the original astrology addicts. They're the ones who gifted us the zodiac. They weren't focused on a party. They were focused on destiny. They believed the stars and planets' positions on your birth date determined your future. Essentially, your birth date was the most important piece of data they had, making it the original personality quiz. This cosmic obsession eventually leads us right to the cake. The ancient Greeks, heavily influenced by the Babylonians, started celebrating their gods' birthdays. They would offer moon-shaped cakes to Artemis, the goddess of the moon. And here's the best part. They'd stick candles on top to represent the beautiful, glowing light of the moon. Mind blown. That's right, the tradition of candles on a cake started as an offering to a Greek goddess. So, when did birthdays become a thing for the common folk? For that, we gotta thank the Romans. They were the first to celebrate the birthdays of ordinary citizens, though, fair warning, it was mostly for the men. Sorry, ladies, you were still waiting for your invitation to the party. It wouldn't be until much later that women got in on the fun. The big Roman milestone was the 50th birthday. That was celebrated with a huge cake made of wheat flour, olive oil, honey ... and grated cheese. Yeah, you heard me, grated cheese. Not quite the delicious buttercream we know today, but hey, it was a party. These were mostly every few decades events. It wasn't until life expectancy started improving in later centuries that annual celebrations became the norm. Before that, you were lucky to hit a milestone, let alone an annual one. Fast forward to the early Christian era. Here's a shocker. Early Christians did not celebrate birthdays. They actually saw it as a pagan practice, which is ironic, considering what we just learned about the Greeks and Romans. But over time, things changed. The celebration of Christmas, the birth of Christ, helped normalize the idea of celebrating a birthday. By the 19th and 20th centuries, thanks to the Industrial Revolution creating more free time and disposable income, the birthday finally got its ultimate glow-up. Mass-produced candles, elaborate cakes, decorations, the whole shebang. This is when the birthday we know and love became the dominant tradition. So there you have it. From a divine, throne-ascending party for a pharaoh to a cheese-filled Roman feast. And finally to the candle-blowing tradition that connects us back to a Greek goddess. The history of birthdays is absolutely wild. Next time you're celebrating, remember you're participating in a tradition that spans thousands of years. If you found this historical deep dive fascinating, smash that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Now, I want to know, what is the weirdest or coolest birthday tradition you or your family have? Drop it in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring the past to better understand the present. Peace out.